Hey guys, I'm here to film, finally, because I've been lazy, my reading wrap up for the second half of May 2020. I don't know, I I kind of realized that maybe I'm just not cut out to do wrap up videos for everything that I read. Like, I don't mind doing wrap ups for like readathons that I did, but I feel like I'm just not motivated to wrap up every single book and manga that I read. So we'll see if I keep doing these or not. Let me know if you guys want me to keep doing this and I'll like try, but I'm just not very motivated to try to explain everything. Like, books are a little bit easier, but trying to explain manga is a little bit harder in my opinion. So I feel like I have a heck of a time trying to like wrap these things up. But anyways, we will try to get into it. So one of the things that I finally ended up reading was the first two volumes of Saint Young Men. This is a manga that focuses around Jesus and Buddha basically being on vacation on Earth and having an apartment together and the antics that goes along with them being, on Earth together. It was fine. Like, I didn't dislike it, but one, it's very, 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 very wordy. So it takes like a heck of a long time to read. And I feel like, I don't know, some of the jokes probably go over my head because I'm really not any kind of religious. So I feel like some of these jokes, I'm just kind of like, I glossed over them because they didn't really make, like, I know they were supposed to be jokes, but they didn't mean anything to me. Nothing against it, that's just more me than anything else. So what I'm probably going to end up doing is the first volume my one friend loved and she read and she really loved, so I'm probably just going to give them both to her and say, hey, if you want to continue buying it, you obviously you can, and here's the first and second volumes for you, because she really liked it. So I just think I'm going to give it to her because, I mean, it's fine, and I mean, I know a lot of people like this. It's just not quite my thing right now. So there's that. The next thing that I read, since I guess we're going into Mangaland, is I read the first volume of Perfect World. This is a really good manga. This is about a girl who had a, high school crush on this guy when she was younger. They kind of flittered apart. They get together when they're like older, so this is a josei, I believe, because they're like 26. An office setting. And she realizes that he was in a car accident, I believe, and now is in a wheelchair. And it's them trying to deal with being together, well, or getting together potentially, as a couple with someone who has a disability. So it's really interesting. It's really hard-hitting. It does not pull any punches. I mean, they're talking about how sometimes he poops and he doesn't even know he pooped. So I mean, it's there. But it's really good, so I'm definitely looking forward to it. I got it when it was digital, and then Kodansha released it physically, so I stopped the digital, and I'm just going to get physical from now on. The next thing I read is, of course, the 23rd volume of Yona of the Dawn. I love Yona of the Dawn. It's amazing. Girl's trying to, Yona's trying to basically retake her kingdom and the four dragons, and it's just very political, very interesting. And this volume was interesting because we're going to get more into like facing like what happened to her head on, I believe. So there's that. The next one that I read is Yuzu the Pet Vet. I cried reading this volume. I am not going to lie. So this is about a girl who, her mom, I believe, is either like she gets sick, so she's going to live with her uncle, and her uncle runs a animal hospital. She starts helping her uncle out at the animal hospital, and it's just like her interactions dealing with these animals and people and their pets, and I mean, it's an animal hospital, so sometimes pets don't make it, and you're crying, and yeah, so it's really cute, but oh my gosh, if you're like a pet person, just be prepared emotionally that you're going to get choked up on like the animal's getting sick, or the animal's passing away, or because you think about your own and then you're just crying. Yeah. The next one that I read is Cardcaptor Sakura, the 7th volume of Clear Card, which is the next volume in the Cardcaptor Sakura series. It's fine. I mean, it's just continuing on in the storyline of maybe we'll finally stop hiding secrets from every freaking person on this series, and we will, like, tell them what's going on, because, yeah, it's just a lot of, like, people not telling other people what's going on. And then the next thing I read was the 2nd volume of Ghostly Things. I really like this. If you like paranormal, this is like the jam to go to, because this is basically a girl who ends up inheriting this house, or she's like she's basically living in a haunted house, and there's just wandering spirits and everything else, and she's like trying to figure out, like, her mother had ultimately vanished, so they're trying to figure out, like, kind of what happened to her mother, and they're trying to, like, figure out, like, the notes of, like, kind of the eccentric guy who lived in this mansion before, the haunted house before, and it's just really good. I mean, it's very paranormal, and I love it. So I will keep reading it because paranormal and I love it. The next one I read is Kaju Girl, Carmelise, Volume 3. It always amuses me how much I love this series when it's about a girl who turns into Godzilla. She turns into this when she gets flustered or upset, or, oh my gosh, he's talking to me and he's so cute and now I'm confused and Godzilla. So, I mean, it's just hilarious that she just turns into a Godzilla. And this one's really cute because she ends up meeting another girl who, I don't want to give it away, but she kind of has the same kind of issues that the main girl has. Not Godzilla, but something else. And it's so, like, cute that we are now having, like, her have a friend who also has, like, to deal with the same kind of things that she has to deal with. And it's freaking adorable, and I love it. So then the next thing that I read was 10 and 11 of Hatsuharu. This is a shoujo. This is a freaking adorable shoujo. If you want, like, a really cute shoujo that's not, like, all of this, like, dramaticness of them being in high school, like Our Heart Ride, this is a really cute one, because this is just basically, like, the kids, well, I mean, like, obviously, okay, backtracking, let's see. I mean, obviously I'm on 10 and 11, so it's kind of, like, way further in the story, but the main girl, well, first off, it's interesting because it goes from the point of view of the main boy, which they never do in shoujo, and he was just kind of a player. He ended up dating one of her friends and then dumping her, so she went up to him and basically punched him, because how dare you mess with my friends? Girl power. And then suddenly he's infatuated with her after that, because this is the first time that's ever happened. And then it's the whole, like, them getting together and their friend group and their interactions with their friend group, and then obviously their friend group pairing up because, you know, shoujo. But it's just super cute and fluffy, and it's not, like, dramatic, and I very much appreciate that right now. So I think it actually ends soon, which is sad because it's so freaking cute. And then I think is that all the manga I read? Book. Oh no, there's more manga. Let's go finish the manga first, and then we'll go back to the books. I didn't read as many books. Okay. So, A Witch's Printing Office. This is super adorable. It's so cute. I had to go off and buy the 2nd volume because it's so freaking cute. So it's a girl, it's like an isekai, but it's like an isekai I can get behind, because the girl basically gets transported to this other world and she's trying to figure out how to get home. So in order to try and figure out how to get home, she's basically created like a comic book convention where all of the mages and the wizards and everything else. Why do I feel like I've explained this before? Have I explained this before? I mean, it was in the stack, so clearly I don't think it's been read. Maybe I explained it when I explained it because when I bought it, or maybe because I'm explaining volume 2. I don't know. It's so funny. I'm just like disoriented. But yeah, so she creates a comic book convention so that she can try and find all the wizards and everybody else who create spells to come together in one place so she can hopefully find a spell that will take her back home. And it's adorable, and I love it, and I miss conventions, and yes. The next one that I read was Knight of the Ice. This one is cute. I know a lot of people liked it. So it's about a girl who, you know, she works in a magazine, and she has a childhood friend who happens to be a figure skater, and basically he has this little quirk where in order for him to actually do like good on the figure skating, she has to like recite one of the spells from one of their like childhood like magical girl series that they grew up watching together. And it's so yeah, it's super cute. I feel kind of bad for the main girl because basically like his like his manager and everything else, like basically they kind of know that he has to see her before like he'll do well, so they're basically like, oh, you're not allowed to have a social life or do this or do that, you got to be catered to his whims every single time. And it's like, dude, she has a life, she has a job, she can't like skip everything for him every single time. This is a bit ridiculous. So yeah, it's interesting. I'll definitely continue on, but yeah, the whole like manager interaction thing is kind of annoying in my opinion, but maybe it's just me. And then last manga that I read was I read the first volume of Blue Flag. Blue Flag is so good. The second volume came in and I'm so excited to read it. But it's basically like some like love square going on. It's basically Tachi and Futaba starting to have feelings for each other, and then not realizing that their like best friend, their respective best friends, have feelings for themselves, for each other as well. So basically, the guy, his best friend likes Tachi, the guy best friend likes Tachi, and then the girl best friend likes Futaba. So it's like this, yeah, it's like a shoujo with like boys love and girls love thrown into it, and it's awesome. So I'm definitely looking forward to reading the next volume on that. And that's all the manga that I finished, which frankly I did much better manga-wise in May than I did in June. June is not good for manga. So anyways, so the rest of the books that I read, because I didn't read that many more books. Fragment of the Lost, which is a thriller. It is the Literally Dead book club pick for May. It was okay. It was kind of weird. So it's basically this girl who her boyfriend like dies in an accident, and she has to the boyfriend's mother basically like blamed her for it. So the boyfriend's mother was basically like, hey, you need to come to this house and you need to pack his shit because I can't handle packing my dead son's stuff, so you've got to go deal with it. So she is like in his room packing his stuff up for them to move, and basically finding all these little things that don't quite add up to what her understanding of was what happened when he like had his accident and was killed. So it's really interesting. So it's like her piecing together what actually happened to him. And it's definitely like I halfway through it I kind of figured out what the big like twist was. So it wasn't like it was that difficult to figure out. I've read some thrillers where it was like, shit, that just happened, but I kind of figured that what happened at the end of this one was what was going to happen. I mean, it was fine. I liked how it was written. I have some of her other books. I have Come Find Me, so I'm looking forward to reading that one just because I like her writing style. It was just kind of like, just kind of an okay ending. I mean, eh. And then next off, I ended up reading the first book in the Raven Boys. Now this, the Raven Cycle, the Raven Boys. So this was my first Maggie Steve Otter book, so I've never read any of her stuff before, although I did buy Shiver to try. So I liked this a lot. I'm definitely looking forward to continuing on in the series. I really enjoyed it. So it's basically about a girl who like lives in a family of like psychics. So all of her family, like her mother and her aunts and her all have psychic powers of some kind, and she has like nothing. Basically what her power is to amplify the powers of the people around her, which to her isn't really a good power. But she basically ends up with, like, every year they do this thing where, like, for the town, where they go to, like, some church or something and they do some ritual, and it's supposed to tell you, like, within the year who is supposed to be passing away, and they'll actually, like, give this information to, like, the people in the town for, like, you know, the older people, so they kind of know to, like, get wills ready and this and that and all this stuff. However, the one time that she goes to the last time is she actually sees a kid her age. And they're like, shit, well, people my age don't usually die within the year, so what the hell? And he is one of the boys from one of the rich schools. And he's, like, basically part of, like, the Raven Boys, which is this group of, like, kids in this, like, fancy school. And it's basically them getting to, like, them forming a friendship based upon what happened and finding out, like, what the Raven Boys are trying to do, and it's really cool. I really enjoy it. Adam is my sweet little cinnamon bean, and I love him. And also, obviously, like, I'm, like, late to the party with Starbucks with this one. Like, I know a lot of people, like, love this, like, a lot. And apparently, like, Adam gets together with Rowan, so I was, like, all on board when I realized that that was, like, a thing. Obviously not in this volume because this is the first one, but yeah, I'm very excited to continue on with this. The only thing that I do not like is these really, really shitty copies from Scholastic books. I do not know if you guys can see it, but the spine is bent all to hell because it's, like, impossible to open up these books without, like, freaking, like, destroying the spine. They are terribly, terribly done. So I kind of want to get hardbacks for this because I just hate these paperbacks. I hate them so much. Now, I do have the second book in the paperback, so in theory I could start it. The issue is it's hard to find the hardbacks. Like, they don't sell them anymore. Like, I tried to get them from, like, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, like, and all of them are, like, back-ordered. So I do not know why, like, they just stopped making it in hardback. But these shitty paperbacks are not doing it for me. And then the last things that I ended up reading was I ended up reading Winter and Fairest, which are the last book in the Lunar Chronicles and a side story in the Lunar Chronicles. So I buddy read the Lunar Chronicles themselves with April and Shae for the Tell It Again book club. I ended up reading Fairest in between reading Winter because they had Shae had suggested, like, Fairest would be a good thing to, like, understand potentially Winter's story plus Leviathan's story better for the Winter itself. So I did read it. Basically all I got out of Fairest is Leviathan is a crazy bitch, and it didn't make me like her anymore. It didn't make me understand her. I just want to throw her out of window and be done with her. So there's that. But I read it. Winter was good. I mean, I just love the storyline. It's really cool. It's like retellings of a whole bunch of different fairy tales, but you're kind of basically getting them, like, on a different version, like a different version of it, because like Scarlet was Little Red Riding Hood, obviously a slightly different version, but the overall, like, kind of theme is the same. So it's really cool because, like, they all come together, like, all the different characters from all the 4 books kind of come together and, like, merge into, like, the storyline. Like, I found out that Wolf and Scarlet are, like, OTP for me right now, and I want like werewolf romance. Yeah, so that's the thing. So if you guys have any suggestions for books that are werewolves and human, and kind of like the whole like mating situation, like you're my mate things, and I would appreciate if you would recommend those down below, because I don't even read romance, but I want to read it if I can find like werewolf human situation like Scarlet and Wolf had in these series. So yes, there's that. So any recommendations down below, please, please. So that is everything that I read in the second half of May. There you go. I think I did pretty good. I mean, I feel like I did a lot better than I did in June. In June I read a lot of books because it was Pride-a-thon. So I was trying to read like all of my like female, male, whatever. I actually had a asexual character in one of those books, which was pretty nice. So thank you, Unplug Book Box, for giving me that. But yeah, so that is basically everything that I read. Guys, let me know if you still want me to try and do these. Like, I'm just like so bad about them, and I feel like other booktubers do such a much better job at trying to like do wrap-ups, and mine are just like poop. But if you guys like me doing them, I will continue to try and do them for you. June, I'm definitely going to do one anyways, because frankly, the whole month of June was Pride-a-thon, so this is the Pride-a-thon wrap-up anyways. But, yeah, just let me know down below. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was longish. I will see you guys later for the next one. Everyone have a very good rest of the day. Bye!